Good morning, everybody, and this is your DAX day trade setup for today. So I just want to jump across to the monthly because the monthly has a pattern on that does worry me, and that is a inverted hammer pin bar, no matter what you want to call it. But the logic behind the bar is quite simple. We opened low, we ran high through the month, seller stepped in and drove it down, trying to force a close below the open. They'd failed that, but they got pretty close to getting it to close as close to the open as possible. It's formed a hammer, and I think if you go back on the monthly, specifically with the DAX, you see there's another nice hammer or inverted pin bar. But that you can see is pretty much when that happens, typically we have some downside. Okay, so if you just go back through the history on this chart, you'll see that's a fairly interesting picture on the monthly for the DAX. Okay, so anyway, let's just get to the daily. The daily at the moment, we have inverse head and shoulders here. There's the neckline there. So shoulder, head, shoulder, pointed this out last week. We sort of bounced up off it, and then the seller stepped in and drove it down. So as far as I'm concerned, this is still a range until we break to the downside or to the upside. That's pretty much what it is. So it is still, for me, sit on hands until something happens. Now have a look at the price action that we do have here. No diversions at the moment on the oscillators, but look at this pattern that we've got. You see we've got a similar kind of pattern here, and then we bounce the top of the range. Now we're getting the same pattern at the moment. So basically all that it's boiling down to is, if I move one of these levels down, is it could be extending the range. So a lot of people are going to be looking to play this head and shoulders top, and the institutions know that. So just be careful about that. That's why you always want to trade the retest, especially when you're in a bull trend and you get some kind of pattern that looks like a topping pattern, because the higher probability trade is that it's going to fail. Okay, so what do we have? We've got inside bar going into the close. Pretty much nothing happening on Friday. We bounced up, bounced around, tested the moving averages, got a bit of a crossover, and we're down. We're still above the 155. So for me, that's still sideways. There's no real direction. The hour is a different picture, though. You can see we broke below on Thursday, broke up twice, double top off the moving averages. So that double top there plays out something like that. Put your level in there. Delete that. Right, so moved down, broke through the neckline of the double top, which is this 15,158, and came up and tested it again at the close. So don't know whether that was profit taking here or it was people that were just waiting here for an entry. Because it happened in the close, I think I'll just take it with a pinch of salt at the moment, because I do have a bigger double bottom here, this being one bottom and this is the other double bottom, other part of the double bottom, sorry. So for me at the moment, it's still bottom of range. We'll have to wait and see what transpires. At the moment, the DAX futures is up 0.23, so 15,186, so somewhere up here. So I'll take it with a pinch of salt at the moment. As far as I'm concerned, we are still sideways. If we start breaking below, or even if at the open we do reject this area here properly, 15,158, I'd look at it. There is another, I have to put another level in, there is another breakout retest right here, which would also get me interested, which is 15,200. Okay, so to me, I'm kind of leaning towards a move to the downside, but there's no confirmation yet. So looking to take some sneaky shorts off retests of breakouts, and this is the first area, 15,200. Stop is going to be above this bar here, and this bar is, its high is 15,257. So 15,260 would be your stop area. So 15,260 your stop area, and we also want to stay below this trend line. So there's 3 touches on this trend line already. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. And I think I'll take I mentioned taking a really sneaky short, not my normal size position, maybe a smallish position with a fairly tight stop, see if it plays out. If it does play out, then you can always add the position on the next retest. And that's kind of the way I'm going to play this at the moment. So still wait and see, but leaning towards break to the downside and this bigger inverse head and shoulder, sorry, not inverse, but this bigger head and shoulders to play out. If that does happen, you have a downside target of around 400 points. But if you look at the structure that you have all the way down, you've got lots of gaps. I think the next bit of real structure is going to start around here, and that's 14,807, which is around 300 points away from the, no, it's not that much, it's a little bit more than that, 350 points. So it's around 350 points away from the neckline of the head and shoulders. So that's fairly close to where the target is, and you can see there's quite a bit of structure here. I'll take my profit between 14,807 and 14,782. So that's kind of the view that I've got on the DAX at the moment. But anyway, it is range at the moment, so it's really going to have to find some structure that's going to convince me it's moving down, or break the neckline proper and come back and retest it before I start looking at it seriously. But it is worth keeping an eye on at the moment. I think there's more potential for a downside break than an upside break right now. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.